Sorry, one
after my
second.
schooling by the Pakistan Air Force, where we were flying light aircraft. Okay, but I left after high school from the Air Force school, and I went to the university. And my father wanted me to be an accountant, and I wanted either to fly or I wanted to study physics. So, and I ended up studying economics and business. So it became a very interesting combination because I was studying business topics, and my spare time was spent watching industry in Lahore. Lahore is a very big town, lots of industry and lot of small businesses and lot of libraries. So I was studying development economics and looking at industries and thinking what I'm going to do, because I never wanted to be an accountant. So, so I started my first company from my hostel. I was studying, I was second year in the university. So I started a small company right from my hostel. I have from my father's old typewriter. We started, and I'm talking about 1964. There were very few telephones, and the only communication was written letters. So we started from there. And when I finished my university, I started a small metallurgical setup. It's a foundry. In Germany, you call it Gizeri, metal casting. And we started very small because my father was not a rich man. We were, just hand to mouth. So that company grew gradually, but most of my life I was then studying metallurgy, metal casting, all the light topics. So we went on to make some alloys for the cement industry, for crushing limestone powder and cement clinker. And we were able to create the alloys where we could sort of compete with some European companies making the same, but we could do it at less than half the price. Because it took me 18 years to get to that point where I had to study that particular subject in detail. So I was a member of the Institute of British Foundrymen already in 1970. So I'm still the member there, and then the British Cast Iron Research Association, and also that was the company I founded, Rastgar Engineering, and I retired from it after handing it over to my two elder sons. And by the time I retired, we were exporting heavy truck parts to more than 70 countries. So we are exporting deep into Russia, Lithuania, Estonia, whole of Western Europe, and United States is about 35% of our business. So, but that is, now I am no longer associated with that because it has new owners. My two sons are the new owners for this. Then while I was still there, when I was doing, I just thought we were doing some trading business also on the side to keep ourselves in connection with the cement industry. So we were selling our own grinding media to them. But then at the same time, we could understand they have other needs. So we were importing items from Europe and supplying the needs of the Pakistan industry. That led us into air compressors. And then I realized 9 years later, when we have been running a trading company for 9 years, that our best product, what we were selling most often, was air compressors. So then at one point we said, okay, we are not selling anything else from this company other than air compressors. And the other side I want to tell you is that the other company, the engineering company, there were no metallurgists or things. I was myself the person assimilating the technology, breaking it into small parcels, and then teaching totally unskilled workers and how to do one small part, then the next part. So we had a whole chain of people. So that was my teaching experience, and that because I could not afford very high educated people. And at times, highly educated people, they cannot be on a shop floor and still deliver. You see that there is a difference between know-how and do-how. You see, so that led me to become a natural sort of a teacher or a trainer. So then, when I got into selling air compressors, the first thing we did was on the other side, I have been working as a volunteer on the skill training center in circuit in Pakistan. There are several government bodies who try to do it, but the people working there, they do their job, they don't have a passion for it. So each time one of these institutes would go down, then I would be invited to work as a volunteer there. So I worked for a lot of this thing, but in the process, I created small courses for awareness of compressor systems. I mean, I'm talking now about 1993 or 92, when we did our first course on how to pipe compressed air, how to select a compressor, how to maintain a compressor. And then I was chairman of the local skill development council. And people who came to our courses, they sort of become our natural customers. So there was really, the angle was sales. We were selling through training. And but that became a very successful model. And later on, we were first selling loop compressors from Quengen, Germany. Then we were working for Boge compressors. Boge is up in, I think, Bielefeld. And we had a very good relationship, but their business range was very small. And then Compare then had just purchased Mannesmann air compressor program. When Mannesmann disinvested their DMAG compressor program, and Compare purchased it, and they got a set of very high German professionals in marketing. And they scouted for us, and they offered us to come and work for them. But by then, we had been building the Boge business in Pakistan for 10 years now. I had invested a lot in brand recognition and everything. And then in that one, we obviously, Compare was much bigger than Boge. So I decided to work with them. But I asked them that I must have a trainer from them for 3 days every quarter. So in Lahore, Karachi, and Islamabad, we would have training sessions for them. So interestingly, we converted all our Boge customers into Compare customers via training just in the first year. So our sales did not dip by changing Boge to Compare. Our sales actually increased. So this is a very interesting case study, how you can win customers via training also. So it was such a successful program that Compare in their international executive moved somewhere. I was told that they discussed us as a case study, that how a good distributor can do an initiative and to, let's say, create sales. And in the same, I mean, it's a win-win situation. The customer is also winning because he does not understand many things. So then that is how we continued. But then, like all big companies, when these companies become successful, they get sold. So Compare kept on being sold from one to the other, to the third, to the fourth, and it brings a lot of pressure on us for, So we tried to do certain things, remaining loyal to Compare, but then also trying to, divide the pie chart into different segments. And because of my interaction with the cement industry and being in the manufacturing myself, I am more of a manufacturing specialist and less of anything else. So I could see the problem with compressed air. with production and maintenance and different things. And also understanding that no university is offering uh, any help towards this side. It is quite amazing that in Pakistan, since I'm on the other side involved with a lot of technical universities, I'm on the board of governors of several universities and looking at their syllabus and all this. Whether it is pharma or it is chemical engineering, mechanical engineering, composites, you name it, none of them, food industry, none of them offer a course in compressed air. Textile. Textile is the largest customer bracket in Pakistan. 40% of our company's total sale comes from the textile industry. And typically, a textile industry uses 70% electricity via the compressor.
Yeah.
So again, there was, we could see this, but the textile industry people can't see this. So they don't know how to size a compressor, how to select a compressor, how to do the filters right, how to do the transmission right, how they can measure it, monitor it, and where the losses are. Because it's an intangible thing. If you have a leak going somewhere. So the first thing I did was to create air audit. So Mustafa was our employee number 1 there. So we were not copying anybody. We just found a niche and we bought the ultrasonic equipment. But then I worked with them to create the template for making a report on the system, training Mustafa, and then finding the first customers, because nobody ever had heard about the auditing of an air system. Here, when people talk about audit, it's always about the accounts, money, where the money went. They never worry where the air went, because they don't think of air as money.
This is interesting point. I wanted to ask you, because that's really amazing. You really created so many things around the compressed air. That's very important, and awareness is the first thing. In my personal experience that we have here in Europe, people also don't think so much about air as they need to be educated in, but they come when they have problems. So when there is really huge problem, and then they ask for the service, and they wait that company will solve this for them. As the services experts of compressed air, they come and they feel they don't need awareness, they don't need to understand what compressed air is in their system. They just want people to come and fix, and then there is some improvements. They also don't want because they have a lot of things on their plate to solve. How you deal with that?
Yes, actually, the thing is, compressor is, for a textile company, they probably think of compressor as an irritant, because, they have these air jet looms and they have other equipment to deal with. And then they have the customer segment. Their focus is on sales of their product, the quality of the weave and other things, whatever they're doing. And they never think. So, when we went into service of compressors in our company, first we were selling compressors, and we had outsourced the service to some people who were not attending to it properly. But then when we started getting complaints, we realized that people buy a compressor connected to the electricity, but put it in the doghouse at the end of the production plant. They never go to look at it to change the oil or filter or any preventive maintenance. And then when it breaks down, they say, "Oh, Rastgar and company sold this, and this is a very poor product." So they don't want to take it on their responsibility that we did not maintain it properly. So that is how we created our maintenance department. You see? So we hired a person from Pakistan Navy. He, about 25 years ago, he had just freshly retired as a submariner. So people in submarines know a lot about compressors because their life depends on it. Because if the compressor fails on a submarine, everybody will, they will not
Yes.
have the right air there. So these people are very, very adept. So we started hiring people who had retired from submarine service, and that will be how we made the core of the company. So like we created the company Air Audit, many years later, we had a sizable number of people working in service. So we spun it off as a separate company. And this is known as Sukoon. So Sukoon means peace of mind. In Urdu, in our language, it means peace of mind. Even in Persian, it also means the same. And in Arabic also means the same. So we created the company Sukoon. And now Sukoon is selling service to our customers for compare compressors, but also any other brand. So that is all. Then we realized that as we went along, that even if we do the audits right, the customer don't know how to rectify the faults. And those faults are not only to plug a leak. Leakage is one part of the thing. But then there are other things with the compressor. If you did not size the compressor properly, or you did not do the diameter of the pipe proper, or you selected the wrong pipe material, there are so many things. So then we created a separate company altogether. It's a different profit center by the name of Air Pro. Air Pro. So in fact, we call it Air Pro Technics. But here then we hired young engineers and sort of put them through, a CAD for pipe, for example, and put them through, how to design a compressor room, what are the elements of a good compressor room. So where you can put the metering, or how to lay out the thing. So we did that together with Air Pro. So Air Pro is also quite multifaceted now, because we have made a big breakthrough in Pakistan market for aluminium piping. So most of our customers, we are trying very hard to convert them to aluminium, because almost 10 years ago, nobody knew about aluminium piping. So in my company also, we were just getting black steel pipe, welding it together, taking, to different, and we had no concept about the thing. But then when it starts to corrode from the inside, then it takes, there's rust. The rust goes to the filters. I mean, you are a PhD in compressor, so I shouldn't be telling you this, but I'm just telling my story.
But for everyone, of course.
So then it is going to choke the compressor. When it chokes, choke the filter. When it chokes the filter, if they find out there's a pressure difference on both sides, then it's going to cause them to change the filter. At times they don't find it out. So what happens is their pressure loss at the other end. So they are going to lose money on the filter. They are going to lose money on this. And then the engineer, he's saying, he needs 6.5 bar on this side. And he thinks that 8 bars from this side is not enough. So let me go for a 10 bar compressor, without realizing that a 10 bar compressor is going to shoot up his energy bill.
Yes.
And he is not bothered because somebody else is going to pay for the energy.
Yes.
So we were watching all this and trying to put it together as, let's say, like a body of knowledge. And then how we can sort of sell this to a customer. In the process, we make very small money, but the customer is making very large savings from this. So now where we are with Air Pro is that we are designing people's compressor layouts. We design their compressor rooms. In fact, we could do that for one of your European clients. We could do the engineering work for you here. And then we are also ready to go and lay it out, lay out I mean, do the installation. So that was the other thing. And in between, there were things happening. So these were four major elements: compressor sales, compressor service, audits, and installation, and putting the plant right. So these were become the four important parts. Then I started to realize, because I have one leg in the universities. So we have a very large National Textile University. It's a government university, and their engineers are sold before they can leave the university. While they're still students, people are all say, well, but soon as you leave, please join us, because they are the best in the thing. But when I asked the vice chancellor, how many hours are you teaching in compressed air? They said, no, it's not part of our syllabus. And I said, well, what you call an airjet loom from the university as a textile engineer, he knows nothing about a compressor. And the VC sort of realized, and he asked for my help. But then I realized that if I give them a list of equipment, it will make no difference to them. So when I was driving back from that town, it's about 3 hours drive from here, I thought that I should do it myself for this university. So I made a small sketch. Okay, here is a classroom, here is a glass wall, and here is a fully featured compressor room. So students can connect with the compressor room, but then at the same time, they can be able to alter certain variables and see what's happening with pressures and filters and pressure drops, etc., and metering. And I talked about this to the people at Compare. They liked the idea, but then they were downstream of a very big company. I ordered the equipment from them, but I had to pay for it myself because they did not pitch in. But VP Instruments, they got the idea. So we have VP Instruments equipment sitting there with sort of meters, and they are able to, we are able to tell how many rupees, I mean, our currency, dollars, rupees worth of air has gone from here to there. So we have VP equipment there. Then we have aluminum piping, filtration, Compare compressor, storage. So we are able to show the students everything. But then once we thought about this, the next problem was, where is the teaching material? So during the COVID years, 2019-20 or 2021, things were subdued, and we had some engineers who were not able to go in the field. So we got together and said, okay, let's create teaching material. So we created 2-3 types of teaching material. And the university was very forthcoming. We donated a fully featured compressor room to them. But then we said, okay, we'll put a training manager there. And the training manager is then asking our engineers whenever they are needed to come and deliver a lecture, because the usual faculty do not have the background to deliver education on compressed air. But then for doing that, all the PowerPoints and the exhibits and all, we then put them together for them. So now for the first time in Pakistan, this university offers 2.4 credit hours for compressed.
Yes, sir. Wow. That's really great. That's very rare also, because
okay. So that is one side. But then we wanted to make it sustainable. We don't have any funding from anywhere, and we are not a very large company. But only thing is, I think we are slightly unusual. So we said, okay, here we have a classroom and we have training material. So why don't we start teaching this to the industry also? So industry still is very difficult to understand that they should send a person for a week or 3 days for a training on compressed air. So we had to scale it down to 1 day seminars, 1 day this thing. So where we can get a little bit of payment just to be able to pay the salaries and everything and make it sustainable. So that was one side so that is, we named it the Asian Institute of Industrial Air, AIIA. So you will see that on the website for AIIA. Okay. Then during the COVID year, we thought there is no textbook. Where can the students go to learn something about it? So we got down and we did not do it like a high quality, because I am not a very high educated person. But we made a sort of a index. I said, okay, let's put some simple thoughts together. So for undergraduate students and technicians to understand. So this is not research material. It is. So what we did was we created this book.
Oh, wow. Okay. Nice.
Can you see this?
Yes.
Yeah. So this is compressed air practice. And it's nicely packed. And some people are buying from us now. We put an address here and we can ship it out. So it's in a box here. And so this is one contribution from us for this thing. So, and the center at Faisalabad is known as SICA.
SICA, okay.
Center of Excellence in Compressed Air. So the photographs you can see on the net. AII, I will send you the link. I think maybe you have already.
Yes, I have the link to that.
Yes. So the thing is, so you can see the thing. We created posters, almost 20 posters we created for different aspects of compressed air. And the classroom we have there in SICA, so it's standard size, I think 800 millimeter by 350 or 400 millimeter posters. And each poster is showing one aspect of a compressor or a piping system or a filtration system. So if a student just walks around, he can see the elements of it. So those posters are also available. If you need those posters, I can share the PDF also for this, because we just did it as like a social service.
Yes.
So that has started to function now. And every month we have 2 or 3 training courses. But for the time being, we don't have a faculty for this. There are no outside trainers. We have to let one of our own engineers to go and do it. So he is given a little bit of training as a trainer to how to speak to a crowd, because these are people generally, they are technicians.
Yes.
Then when they're standing before a crowd with people, some managers from the industry, they they're not very comfortable. So we put them through docs. That is Dr. Arshad Ali is doing that. So by the way, Dr. Arshad Ali was once the Vice Chancellor of the Textile University. But I knew him much earlier. And when he was the Vice Chancellor there, then I was helping him connect to the industry, because our companies have a very good connection to the local industry. So I think that completes the our offering. These 4 profit-making entities or business units, and one this is a non-profit. This training system. It's like a trust. We are just putting our money into it for a larger cause. So that is the story.
I think it's amazing. You really created a compressed air world in Pakistan. Because it's not that you're just selling products, you have also maintenance around it, you have service around it, you have engineering, and you have also awareness and education.
Yes.
I think this is really great. And I wanted to ask you about how people in the companies usually react on your trainings. Do they think they need it or they are happy to participate? How they usually...
Actually, the thing is, we are 2 years into this training.
Mm-hmm.
We are still putting in some money into it,
Yes.
because we still are not able to monetize it, because people don't pay here for training. I mean, the fees at your end and the fees at our end, there's no comparison. You see, I mean, you see, let's say $20 or $25 for a day of training, we will hardly get 7 or 8 people into it. But the kind of saving they can make, we are trying our best to sort of establish a market for this kind of training. So because it has taken us totally out of our core work of compressors into managing a training outfit. Because personally, I don't manage most of these businesses now, because there is somebody doing this, and Mr. Maqsood Zulfikar, who actually discovered you on LinkedIn. He sent us the link to you. And he's the chief executive of the group companies. So they do the real work, and some of this kind of work, I am in Islamabad, so we are more like an incubator here. So we get an idea, incubate it, and put it together, and then somebody is going to do it. So right now we are just learning to be a training platform. And if you will see, in the last 2 months, we have redone our website. We have put together a marketing department, very small, but marketing department. We are active on the local social media. And also we are, because the platform is there are people, there's somebody who is delivering a course on change management. Somebody else is doing it on inventory control. There are other industry-related topics.
Yes.
Where we are trying to give a wider sort of coverage as a training platform. So we have made a formula with the trainers, and so the trainer can benefit, because we are doing systematic marketing. Many trainers are there, but they don't know how to systematically market their expertise. So they find it comfortable to come with us and deliver the training from our platform. So that is what we are doing right now.
Yeah, but I think it's gone already great, because I'm also following the Asian Institute of Compressed Air, and I constantly see that there are trainings and people are attending it. So I think it's actually going very fast, because
yes, I mean, it's actually, as a businessman, I have seen that even if you have an established company and you want to branch out another segment, it takes 3 to 4 years to mature. So, but that I've seen it throughout my life. Today I've just completed my 76 years of life. So there's a lot of observation behind me. So, but we try to do it systematically. So, because when we were starting air audit, in the first 2-3 years, we were only spending the money, and people did not understand. But now there are many customers who again invite our people to come and do the audit again and again and again. So, but it has taken that much of time. And in between, you train people and then they leave. So then there are very few people who will stick with you on a long-term basis. So they have their own problems or whatever, So there is always a turnover also. So we lose people, and then of course we have competition. I mean, we are not the only compressor sellers. So, and then the other thing is we are also trying to expand our uh, offering within the compressor group. So, for example, there's an Italian company making 40 bar compressors, SEAD. Maybe you heard the name SEAD, SEAD, and they are into petroleum type compressors and PET bottling compressors. So recently they asked us to start selling for them. We haven't made any sales so far, but we are working for them. So that is, continuously we are trying to expand our offering within the compressor field also, or anything attendant to it. And that, and trying to find where the industry, what else we can do for the compressor industry, but just remaining as close to the core work as possible. So we don't go out to sell unrelated things.
Okay. No, this is really fascinating, and I wanted to ask you. You talk very passionately about the compressed air, and you developed all these businesses. And I mean, you didn't just decide to sell compressors, so you developed all this infrastructure around. Why are you so passionate about compressors and compressed air?
Sorry, I stopped seeing your photograph.
Okay.
Have we gone beyond the limit?
No, no.
I can't see you. Oh, just this. Yes. Sorry, I did not catch.
Yeah,
what did you say?
my question is like why you love so much compressed air and why you're so passionate about compressed air, because you didn't stop on just selling compressors. You created all this infrastructure, this like micro world around it,
Yes,
even
you see,
with non-profitable
the thing
organization
is,
for training.
yes, the thing is, I like to do things in detail. So we were working in compressor field already back in probably 1982 or 83, you see. So I think the first compressor I sold was in 1982, and the company was a Loop. And we sort of started gathering this information, and the technology sort of always I'm attracted towards technology, let's say. So this came one thing, and then we started building the company around it. And the thing is, if you stick to one product, then you start to gather the knowledge and the contacts and everything. But we also find you quite interesting because it is also very unusual for some to find somebody who is a PhD in compressors. So that, yes, certainly, because we find it very, very interesting that there's somebody like you looking at this. And in fact, I am inspired from this. And we are trying to find some final year projects for technical universities where we can ask students to use compressed air to make something move or do something or the other,
Yes.
start to make them connected. Then similarly, we are looking to fund one or two master's projects. Assalamu alaikum. Anything else you would like to ask me? I am happy to answer any questions you have.
Yes, no, I just like that you said that you like to do things in detail. So you started in the compressors and then you just
yes,
went further into details.
Because it's how you are built, So I am when it gets to technology and physics and all, I'm not a physicist, but I have a romance with it. So I know a lot of physicists, and we get together and listen to them, and most of these activities which we do, they have some kind of a leaning towards science. So compressed air is also just like that. So, but when we are doing compressed air, now we have people working in our company who are specialists in oxygen production, in nitrogen production. Nitrogen takes you to membranes technology, and these membranes and all, and it is quite romantic also.
Yes,
from my
yes.
point of view, I find it very, very interesting.
Yes.
So I cannot go into the details of a compressor like you can do it, or many of my people can do it. But then there are certain areas, one thing is technology, but another thing is management of technology. So if you don't have that knack to put things together and then create some kind of a situation where it's a win-win for the customer and for the employees and for the company and for the environment, then, but to do that, you have to know a little bit of everything, So that's how I am built, and that's what we do.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's really great. No, thank you so much, Mr. Rastgar. I think it was
Yes,
very
it's a
clear.
pleasure. But just on a personal note, I want to ask you, which part of Russia did you belong to?
Russia, it's in Kursk region.
Sorry?
Kursk region.
Which side?
It's very close to the border with Ukraine.
Oh, I see. So you are on the Russian side or the Ukrainian side?
Russian side. Yes.
Side.
Yes.
And your family is safe there?
Yes, they're fine. They're safe. They're on border.
I see.
Yes.
So, but it's quite interesting that you came to Germany and you selected one very, let's say, interesting field.
Yes, it's very specific also.
So, and you are self-employed or you are working?
I have my own company.
Own company.
Yes.
And you get enough business from?
Yes, I do what you do, but I do on the downstream side, on the machine level and the distribution side, optimizing the machines itself and the use of compressed air. Yes, it's nice. I got some very nice consultation contracts and also courses, also education awareness, and also software. So we developed our own software for optimization. So it's nice. It's gone very good.
Wonderful.
Yes.
So it's very nice talking to you. Let's remain in touch. I can send you some more links to.
Yes, please send it to me so we can also upload it.
So are you going to publish this interview? Or
yes, I will edit it
and
then I'll publish it and I'll send you the link and the information also.
So I can send you some photographs of.
Yes, please. That would be really great. Please send it to me. Yes.
So I'll send these. Maybe you can put them in between.
Yes.
Okay. Right. So
perfect.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. It was really very nice.
Great talking to you.
Thank you.
Okay. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.